Hello everyone, it's CreativeNameToStandOut again with another battle report, and this time I'm getting a game against the brand new, well to me brand new, Flesh Eaters Court. So my friend Nick here has already made an army. He's also made the video from his perspective, so I'll go ahead and put that in the description below. And let's go ahead and jump into deployment. So, oh wait, first the mission. The mission is going to be just like the tournament mission, where you reclaim the fallen, except instead of objectives, we're going to do terrain pieces. So there's going to be 2 towers or 2 buildings. One will be the real building. You won't know until you get within 3 inches of it. On a 5 or 6, that's the objective. If not, it's the other one. And they're on opposite sides of the board. So first up, let's go into deployment. Here you can see that I've set up a lot of guys, but the one I'm trying to showcase are the sword and board who are up front. He follows with his crypt ghouls that are in the tower on the far right, from my perspective. I follow with my halberds in the back. This is going to create a very defensive block that will allow me to advance relatively confidently. If he's going to charge this, he's going to have to commit a lot of forces to it, because if one unit goes in, that unit will probably be wiped out. Next, he puts his abhorrent ghoul king that's not mounted on anything. I then deploy my dual weapon Chaos Warriors on protecting my left flank. He follows up with his abhorrent Ghoul King on the Terrorgeist, challenging them. I put Cake Goose in the back, and then he pretty much sets up the rest of his army, with first being the Vargulf Courtier, then his Ghoul Horrors, his Crypt Horrors, and then finally his Crypt Flayers. So we'll get an overview of the board, as you can see, and then we'll roll off to see who goes first. The Pyre Legion gets the first turn, and the first thing I try to do is summon some demons. Unfortunately, I roll too low, and I have no reinforcements just yet. As the rest of the turn goes, I just advance cautiously. I don't try to run or anything. I just push up a little bit. The Flesh Eaters start their marathon-long hero phase, and that begins with the abhorrent Ghoul King, who's not on the Terrorgeist, the general, using his command ability to bring a unit of Crypt Ghouls off from the board edge. The Horrors are part of the Royal Mordant formation, which allows them to pick a model, then move around 6 inches. This is essentially going to help these models move up the board faster, and in this instance, it just allows them to get to this house and get inside it in the first turn. The Vargulf Courtier does his thing. That means some ghouls show up with the unit of ghouls that are already in the tower. Lucky for me, just yet, there's no more horrors or flayers showing up, but that doesn't mean they won't show up later. And then the Terrorgeist abhorrent Ghoul King casts the spell Unholy Vitality, which will give him another level of protection for when he gets into combat. After movement, you can see that the Crypt Horrors are indeed in the building. The Vargulf is staying safely away from any next turn charges on my part. The Flayers, though, are kind of tiptoeing, offering a chance if I roll really high to get a charge into them, but otherwise they're just kind of tempting me but not quite committing themselves. We have the Vargulf moving up. He screams, kills off a couple of my warriors, then charges in there, mauls them to death, but I do manage to inflict 2 wounds on it, so it's down to 12, and we're well on our way to hopefully bring this guy down. So we go into my turn. I'm lucky enough to win the second turn, and I summon some of these flamers. These guys are vicious. I put them on the board, and they're going to open up on the Terrorgeist, and they are going to do quite a few wounds. He was at 12, so now he's down to 7, so 5 wounds. But on top of that, I rolled the special roll that does another D3 wounds and max out on that. So I knock him all the way down to, I guess, 4, I believe it was. And yeah, this thing is near its last legs. As far as the game plan is concerned, I really want to take care of this left flank here, kill off this giant bat to make sure that my flank is protected as I advance forward, so that I don't have crazy giant monsters in my backfield. So I, again, approach very cautiously. But here I think in hindsight I could have done everything else but what I did. I shouldn't have approached so cautiously. Maybe I should have charged perhaps the flayers on the right. Most definitely in hindsight I could have used the help on the left, because even after combat I only do, I mean, I wasn't expecting to kill the thing, but I do knock it down, I believe, to the last 2 wounds. And well, I just don't kill it, and I could have used the extra attacks. I'm sure a couple more attacks may have helped do it in. Who knows? We will never know. But I should have not. All I did was basically move through the center of the board, just cautiously biding my time. And while I did need to have some patience, maybe I was too patient in this situation. And I say that because as we look at this picture, you'll see that the Terrorgeist is not here anymore. And that's not because I killed it. It's because Nick, this is just masterful, retreats. This is the perfect time to retreat. There's no reason for him to stick into this combat because you don't know what's going to happen. And you might as well preserve yourself best you can. So he flies away to attend to more urgent matters, and he allows these 10 ghouls to move up to finish these warriors off. So a great use of resources, I think. I don't think you could have played this any better. And he moves away, and he also heals D3 wounds, I believe, and he's back up to 5. So that's a little bit disheartening, but I feel like I can still do something as far as killing the Terrorgeist. Unfortunately, my move forward, while cautious, opened up an opportunity for Nick to also do his little move where he has the Royal Mordant free move that I guess moves 6 inches as long as one model stays in one place. And then following that up with a fly move, he's able to skirt by my warriors. Had they been back where they were, he wouldn't be able to get behind my line so easily. But he skirts back there, and he's now threatening my my flamers also. So everything is not going well following that decision by me previously, and Nick's just capitalizing on it really well. The only thing working against Nick's masterful moves and decisions are his horrible dice. He is not able to finish off either of the units he charges. My horrors are sticking around, giving me hope that next turn, if I win, I can maybe shoot the last of the wounds off that Terrorgeist. And then I have dreams of glory with those Chaos Warriors, but at the rate it's going, I will lose my warriors before I kill those ghouls. But still, here's hoping. And then my hope is immediately dashed as the Flesh Eater Courts get the next turn. What are you going to do? He does do a joint assault early on here with a lot of his units slamming into my my big block of Chaos Warriors. I have a lot of faith that they're going to stick it out for a long time, but the problem is I have no relief force for them. So I don't, and with the War of Attrition, I'm learning that the Flesh Eater Courts, that's their bread and butter, and even as tough as my warriors are, it's not going to look good for them in the long run. So they do slam in there. I do withhold. I do stand my ground fairly well. I do quite a few wounds to the Vargulf. That's my goal right now, is to try to kill that thing. That way, maybe in the long run, I can win this attrition battle, though I'm very skeptical. But we'll see if we can pull it off. My horrors do die, or my flamers, I'm sorry, do die this turn. And that Terrorgeist heals up some more. Oh, it's so depressing to see that. So now we'll go into my turn, which is pretty much just a lot of combat. I focus a lot on the Vargulf. I'm able to bring him down to 1 wound. You can also see I've done quite a few wounds to those horrors. And of course, my last warrior here is still around fighting the remaining ghouls. So things are still looking bad, but I'm on the cusp of killing that Vargulf. But it's not going to happen because every time he kills a warrior, he heals some wounds. And it's just, that's the story. It's the being able to bring more models in, being able to heal more wounds. I played too conservatively, and now I'm paying the ultimate price for it. So we did play for a couple more turns till he completely wiped me out. I don't remember where these pictures take place. I just took them periodically. But yeah, it's pretty much just a grind, and a grind I will never win. I try my best to kill off that Vargulf. It just doesn't happen. And over the course of the turns, the goals get bigger. Unfortunately, the Terrorgeist gets all the way back up to 10. He probably made it all the way back to full health by the time we ended the game. And then he just goes on a hunt for Kekus, screams at him, and then it ultimately does him in with his own general. So complete slaughter. Never thought that would come from playing conservative. It's usually something I would think would happen most of the time when you're too aggressive. But against this army, it's a completely different beast, and you just have to time your attacks just right against the right targets. I guess you could say that about anything, but so much more against this unit, this army, because there's so much synergy going on within these pieces. So yeah, a lot of things I'm learning about the Flesh Eaters Courts. I would say that the number one idea experience I try to impart on you is that Vargulf, I keep on saying them wrong, the Vargulf Courtier, he is kind of like the heart of the army, kind of keeps it pumping, keeping the numbers up, and then the general is the one that's kind of bringing more units on the board. So if you're ever facing that army, I know it's easier to say than do, but those are really the targets you need to knock out first if you're wanting any of your casualties to stick. So overall, I hope you enjoyed this. I do have another game lined up right after this against the same army. This time we're going to switch the roles, so I will complete that video and have it out to you shortly. Alright guys, see you later.